Hi, I'm Isaac Musgrave, producer and director of Classical BTS. I want to take the next few minutes to kind of talk to everybody about how the series started and kind of what our goals were and how we filmed the series, and really just kind of pull back the veil and give you guys some information on how something like this gets made. So I think the first thing to kind of address, or that's important, is what is Classical BTS? Classical BTS stands for Classical Behind the Scenes. The behind the scenes part of this really stood for the focus of the series, which was not so much about what was being done, so if they were making great music, but more about the people that are making the great music and the stories behind that. What inspires them, what motivates them, and what is their story? So the first start in making a series like this is kind of selecting and sourcing what stories should be told. In order to find out what stories should be told, we felt like it was important to kind of get that information from the community, not just stories that we wanted to tell or things from our network, but we wanted to reach out and really get a broad net so that we could have a diverse range of stories and locations. So Lisa and Donda, they both kind of put out a post on Facebook and social media and just said, hey, here's what the series is, here's what we're trying to do, and do you know some people that kind of fit this, that have a great story? And the response we got from it right away was amazing. I think we got well over 100 people or 100 leads on great stories or people that would kind of fit this bill. The next challenge we had was taking that large group of 100 or so potential stories and kind of shrinking that down into something manageable, because we knew we were only going to really be able to do 6 high-impact episodes for the first season. So we narrowed that down to about, I think we had 10 people that we felt like fit the series framework and had really unique stories and had a good diverse range. So after that, the next thing we did was we set up preliminary interviews with everyone, which is where we could really kind of get to know their story better, as well as just kind of discuss logistics, things like how much time it was going to take to shoot the story, and what kind of turnaround time it was, when we were having performances, and could we match up logistically. And then we set about going and filming them. And just so you have a little bit of information on what it takes to film this, when we set out, we knew, although it was a web series, we wanted to do it at the highest quality. We didn't want to sacrifice any quality, and we wanted this to be something that was really, really great. So we decided each interview would be a full-length interview. Even though we knew that the length of the spots was only going to be 2.5 minutes, we sat down with every subject and we filmed an interview with them for usually a minimum of 1 hour, but a lot of times it was more like an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes to really make sure we got their story. After we got their story, the next thing we needed to do was we needed to be able to film them doing what they specialize in, really capture them in their element. So this meant finding performances or setting up them playing, writing, or any number of things, teaching. So then that was the next step, was really to find these events and go and capture them. And in some cases too, if there wasn't a performance, we actually would go and we found a location and we would basically get our own performance, which I think was my favorite part. There's something really, really kind of unique and special about being able to hear this amazing music and just this amazing performance, and just to be able to film it. To me, that was really special, to have the opportunity to film someone in their element and to be inspired and hear great music while you're doing it. I think that was just tremendous. And I know a lot of the crew, they had a lot of fun with that as well. After we finished filming the events and filming that, the next challenge we faced was bringing it into the edit bay and really kind of cutting it all down and making it into that story. I would say each of these episodes probably has 35 hours in them, just in editing. So once it's all wrapped up in the edit, the next part is getting it out and sharing it with people. And that's the best part, after all the work that goes into it, and hearing these stories and feeling like I know these people so well because I've spent hours and hours and hours listening to them and talking to them, getting to share that with people and sharing these amazing stories and expanding people's horizons. And we hope that this is going to be an entry point for people, kind of a jumping off point, that maybe people who haven't listened to classical music before, or maybe didn't feel like it fit for them, maybe this is a way that brings them in. Or people that traditionally listen to classical music, maybe this is something else that expands their horizons too. And we just are really, really excited about the series, and I just can't thank everyone enough that worked on the series. All of our crew, all of our field crew, all of the editors, the graphic artist, and our station crew, everyone in marketing and in broadcast and everything. I just cannot thank them enough. And the funders, I just can't thank people enough for allowing us to tell great stories. And I hope you enjoy these, and thank you so much for your time.